want none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ, the Tar Heel. And in this huddle, man, I got to get a couple of more things off of my chest in this JMU game before I push it to the left and we can get right and move on to the Duke game. First and foremost, I apologize about the setting, but the hooligans are already been made aware of kind of the reason for, having to come out here and do this. There's not going to be a lot of graphics. There's not a lot of fun things to talk about in this football game, but I do want to get a couple of more things off my chest before we stink and move on. So really didn't delve too much into the stats of the game last night just because I was so pissed at what I had observed on the field. We'll go ahead and get into that. Obviously, you guys know North Carolina lost 70-50 to James Madison, a Group of 5 team who came to Kenan Stadium courtesy of a $500,000 paycheck, and then they proceeded to hand us our ass and give us our first loss of the season. They racked up 611 total yards, and this is all off the top of my head. 611 total yards. Barnett, in the Carolina game alone, had 388 yards, 5 touchdown passes, and 2 rushing touchdowns on the stinking ground. 7 touchdowns from a guy that they were talking about benching who only had 135 yards against Gardner-Webb and was only able to put 13 points on the stinking board. Yeah, that guy walked into Kenan, and he absolutely freaking embarrassed us. So, yeah, there's that. George Pettaway had a good game for JMU. And, they just kind of lit us up, bro. Special teams, coaching, just everywhere. I mean, hustle, want to. It was all on display. Carolina came out there, laid an egg, especially on the defensive and special teams side of the football. And JMU came to stink and play, and it was a well-deserved victory on their behalf, man. One of the things that I was looking for in this game, Jacoby Criswell. My man had 475 yards, 3 touchdown passes, and, yeah, he had 2 interceptions. 2 interceptions, and it kind of got to the point where, they're blitzing, and we had terrible blitz pickup for large portions of that stinking game. So he's under constant duress. He's trying to make things happen. Some of those were some bad passes, but at the same time, you can just attribute that to the dude's trying to make plays out there. He's trying to bring his stinking team back. But I was really impressed with what I saw from JC as a whole. I think we have clearly found our QB1. And, moving forward, if we can get that offense to play with the defense we had in the first 3 weeks, I still think Carolina has a tremendous opportunity to do some great things. Omarion Hampton had 139 yards rushing. He had 3 touchdowns on the ground, and that was with an offensive line that very seldomly seemed to open him any stinking holes. I mean, it was crazy how dominated we were on each side of the line of scrimmage, man. We're bigger, we're stronger, we're faster, and yet JMU is, they're getting in our backfield. They're blitzing from all angles. We got terrible blitz pickup. JC's running for his life half of the stinking time, and we're not getting any pressure on the defensive side of the football, and that's what was the most frustrating thing. We're looking for offense, we get offense, and then the defense lays an absolute egg. An absolute egg. It was just an absolute atrocity, bro, and everyone responsible. Jeff Collins, Ted Monachino, Mac Brown, good night, dude. You go to the linebackers coach, man, Tommy Thigpen. You are all responsible for what we saw because no one was able to get these stinking kids riled up and play a football game. 53 points and a half. Most ever in a half of football against the University of North Carolina. 70 points in Chapel Hill. The most ever points scored in Chapel Hill. The most points scored since 70 was hung on us at East Carolina about a decade ago. Just absolutely atrocious. And the problem with this is it's an annual occurrence. It's an annual occurrence. I keep hearing people say, I've had people comment in the comment sections of, the preview and prediction show, on the live reaction and watch party. They've commented on the reaction video, and they're like, hey, you keep saying that Mac has got to go, but who are we going to be able to bring in that's going to be able to win 8-9 football games? Bro, listen to me when I say this, okay? I cannot stress this enough. I love Mac. Love him, dude. And I would love for him to take some other kind of position at the university to where he can still be, involved with the football program. Him and his wife. That's what they want to do. They want to have an impact on these young men's life. You can do that and you don't have to be the stinking head coach. Now, I don't know how they're going to compensate you for that work, but if that's something that's in the cards, great. But here's the simple fact of the matter. We talk about 8-9 wins every stinking year. This is not the same as 96, 97 when, Carolina's on the cusp and then Florida State comes to town, for Judgment Day, and Carolina just can't move the football. It's 20-3. That's different. We're talking about, the number one team in the entire stinking nation coming here, and Carolina's just the number 2 team in the entire nation, and they can't get over the hump. That's different. It's different, guys. But what I need Tar Heel Nation to understand is this. This is what I need you to understand, Tar Heel Nation. Losing to a group of 5 team in year 6 of a Hall of Fame coach's tenure, his second tenure at the University of North Carolina, giving up 53 points and a half, letting somebody come in there and just bully you, stuff you in a stinking locker, and then leave with your money, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. So you say, well, where else can we get 8-9 wins out of a football coach? I don't know. How about JMU's coach? How about that dude? We keep talking about a rebuild. And we got all these stinking athletes. And you got everybody that you could possibly want hired on this football team. And yet you lay an egg. But that same coach at JMU, who's only coached at lower level Division 2 FCS teams, that guy comes into your house and stuffs you in a stinking locker. That guy that had to replace, brand new head coach in year 1, that had to replace 70 stinking players on his roster because they all left or graduated. That guy came into your house and he put a 70 on you. He hung a 70 burger on you, dude. That's crazy. It's crazy. You were outcoached. The game management was absolutely horrendous. How many times have we seen this throughout the years? I mean, from not calling a timeout when Jacoby lost his helmet and then putting Connor Harrell in there, who has unfortunately shown that sometimes the lights are stinking just too big, and it doesn't get any more apparent than that, than not being able to handle a snap, and then you get a turnover right there that creates another 7 points when you're already behind the stinking power curve. All you got to do is burn a timeout, bro. I don't know why you keep trying to pocket these things. Burn a damn timeout. Keep your stinking quarterback in the game who has been moving you down the stinking field. But you didn't do that. That's a very poor coaching mistake. You say, Russ, you weren't there. You're just Monday morning quarterback. No, I'm not doing any of that. I'm not doing any of that because I'm calling it as the game is progressing. Carolina's trying to inch back into the game. They're trying to inch back into the game. They get the stinking fumble recovery. They're inching back into the game. They score. And then, I can't remember how many were down, but mathematically it doesn't make any sense. Carolina's going for 2. Just unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable. And they didn't make any of them. Just unbelievable poor game management. And at the end of the game, as Carolina's trying to make it a game, as opposed to it being a 3-possession game, it's still a 4-possession game. Why? Because you decided in your infinite wisdom to go for 2. Look, bro, 1 point half of the time, 70, 80% of the time is not going to be the difference in you mounting a comeback or not. Kick the damn extra point, get you an onside kick, or go down there and play defense, bro. I don't know why we're making this crap rocket science. It's just unbelievable. The in-game management was absolutely atrocious. I think they scored 42 points in a 20-minute period. Bro, that shouldn't happen if Georgia comes to town. It shouldn't happen if Texas comes to town. You let JMU come in here and do that to you. And this is what it all boils down to, man. Okay? I'm not pulling any punches here. And I'm not, I'm not trying to be divisive. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to call a spade a spade. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. The problem is culture. The problem starts with Mac Brown. You're done. You're done as in, your ability to motivate young men to be the best that they can be. You can't tell me right there. You cannot tell me right there that you were able to accomplish that mission. And I don't even think you believe that you accomplished that mission, Coach. So if you can't accomplish that mission, much like you were saying, apparently in the post-game locker room session, which I wasn't there, I haven't heard it. This is from other people. Hey, if I'm the issue, then I will gladly step aside if it's going to help you boys think and accomplish what you need to accomplish. Hey, man, that's very manly of you. You know, the question is if you come to that stinking decision, are you really willing to do what's best for the football program? Now, this is subjective, okay? A lot of people want to keep Mac because they're content with 8-9 wins. I'm telling you right now that, you know, this roster, okay, this is what I need you to understand. This roster has the third most talent in the Atlantic Coast Conference over the course of the last half decade. The third most talent in the entire ACC. But yet we're finishing, what did we finish last year? 7th, 8th? Huh? Is that acceptable? No, that's underperforming. From a Hall of Fame coach, you say, who else can we bring in here that's going to get us 8-9 wins? I don't know. But I know there's a lot of daggone football coaches that won't drop, you know, allow their defense to hang 70 on them at their house on national television. I know that. I know that. You say, well, is it worth it? You know, absolutely it's worth it. We got a stinking, you know, 2024 Shelby GT 500 Carolina Blue, bro. And we're at the drag strip lined up against, you know, a Ford Pinto, and we got flat tires. Don't make any sense, bro. You got all these horses under the hood, bro. You got all these horses under the hood. You got one of the fastest cars known to the United States of America, and you don't got no air in your tires. You know, and the air here is the juice. The defense came out flat, bro. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, man. You know, and we see it every year. Last year, we saw it against UVA. The year before that, we saw it against Georgia Tech. You know, the year before that, we saw it against South Carolina in the bowl game. Last year's bowl game against West Virginia was really bad. I mean, when are we going to say enough is enough, guys? When are we going to say enough is enough? Are you really content with 8-9 wins? Is that really what you think the height of this football program is? I'm telling you right now, bro, 2019, 2020, he injected a ton of juice in it. We saw it in recruiting. We saw it all over the place, okay? In 2020, it culminated in an Orange Bowl berth, and albeit the fact that, you know, we had some help in getting there, you know, being 8-4 at the time, and we almost got it done. But since that stinking Orange Bowl bid, bro, it has been bad. And yes, that includes the Drake May years. You know, even 2022, when we went, started the season 9-1. It's been bad. And it's even become, I think, you know, there's been a little bit of juice injected into the football program, but then on the backside of that, people are saying, well, that's Carolina. You know, if Matt can't do it, then nobody can do it. I disagree. I completely disagree. I disagree. But the longer that you're here and the more and more we see these type of football games, these embarrassing games that people can point to and say, bro, that football program, the football program that JMU scored 70 on, bro, I'm telling you, that ceiling is getting lower and lower and lower. You're not going to be here forever. That's what I need these Tar Heels to understand, man. It'd be one thing if it was an upward trajectory, but we've kind of flatlined, you know, and it's almost like there might even be a little bit of this negative angle going on right now, bro. I mean, that's just at least what I see personally as a stinking fan. So when is enough enough? You know, when do we stinking, you know, do the right thing, man, in my personal opinion, and, you know, and cut tie? I don't know, man. I stinking don't know, but I know that we can't keep doing this because I'm starting to feel a little crazy. Starting to feel a little crazy, man, because I'm like, okay, Hall of Famer, this isn't going to happen again, and then it happens again. And, you know, you fool me once, shame on me. You fool me twice, or shame on you. You fool me twice, shame on me, bro. You fool me 3 times, now I'm just being a moron. And surprisingly, there's a lot of people that are kind of over here with me, but there also seems like there's a ton of people that they're content with being moronic. Or maybe they just are content with mediocrity. I'm not content with mediocrity. I'm not saying that we're Alabama or Georgia, dude. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that that's unacceptable. That is underperforming. It's below the standard. And if you're not even meeting the standard consistently, there's an issue. And it's an issue that needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed from the top down. So that's kind of where I'm at, man. I had to get that crap off my chest. Oh, one more thing. This is kind of a longer video. I apologize, and I appreciate you if you're still here at the 14:30, 15-minute mark. Here's something that I saw after the game, and I'm not going to call this kid out by name. You can go find it if you want to. But all this Twitter garbage with these kids, man, talking about, hey, I don't see any of you fans out here playing football. If you don't have nothing positive to say, then you can just be quiet and shut your mouth. And that's a paraphrase. Let me tell you something, young man. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, okay? You're not a high school kid anymore, okay? You're getting paid to wear that uniform, right? And play football because you are an entertainer. At this point, that's what you are. You're an entertainer now. You're no longer just a a junior varsity dude that's out here playing because he loves the game. No, you're being compensated for what you do. And there are people that are coming to watch the entertainment. Okay? So as a paid employee, which many of you are, okay, that means you're open to scrutiny. Just as much as you're open to praise, you're open to scrutiny. And let me tell you something about the real world, okay? Because obviously you've never really been in it if you think that the world is just full of positivity, right? That's some first world stuff right there, bud. Okay, the world is full of negativity. And you as a young man that needs to grow up, you need to be able to take some stinking constructive criticism. And that's from Uncle Russ talking to you, about to be a 38-year-old man who's been around and done some things, okay? So if you can't get on Twitter and be a man and say, look, dude, we stunk it up and we apologize. If you can't do that and you're more worried about people saying hurtful things to you, then your priorities are all out of order, man. That's your issue. That's your stinking issue right there, bro. Why don't you stinking grow a chin, man? Why don't you grow a chin? Okay? Why don't you take some ownership? I take ownership. I made fun of NC State when they lost to Tennessee. Now all the stinking Wolfpackers are coming at me. Guess what, man? I'm a stinking man, bro. I'm going to take it on the chin. I'm going to take it on the chin, and I'm going to punch back. That's what I'm going to do, because I'm a stinking Tar Heel. You got people questioning your manhood and stuff. Hey, go out there and show them. That's how you stinking do that. That's how you grow. So stop being so worried about what people are saying to you, and why don't you be a little bit more worried about, the fact that not only did your team embarrass the name on the front of the jersey, but there was a lot of dudes that embarrassed the name on the back of the jersey. That's what you should be concerned about. You need to look a little bit more inwardly and stop looking as much outwardly. So you let me know what you think about this down in the comment section, Tar Heel Nation. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, and it's on to the Duke game, baby. Go Heels.